Hello everyone, and welcome back to Everyday Husband Quotes, the channel for marriage advice, marriage entertainment, and everything else marriage. Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk about Zadia and Dante, the real reason Dante chose Aisha, but specifically that scene where Zadia was pointing her finger in Dante's face. It was out of the blue and weird, but it didn't seem like the two had a close connection from the show, if you ask me. I honestly don't think Zadia should have went that hard on Dante, but here's why she did. She explains that Dante and her had a one-on-one date. At the time, she was feeling both Dante and Naeem. She asked Dante to give her some time to make a decision. Now, after the date with Zadia and when they all arrived at the house, Dante had already made his mind up, and his mind was on Aisha because Zadia didn't choose him at their one-on-one date. But Zadia said she had already chosen Naeem before the couples met up at the house, which we as fans did not get an opportunity to see. So before I wrap up this video, here is Zadia with a 101. The full length of this video can be viewed on her IG, and she does go into specific details about the whole Dante situation. And then one last thing, y'all, it looks like Kamil and Cornelius from the Ready to Love DC, the Chocolate City, honey, are engaged. Here is a picture of the ring and a picture of them, and this is what she posted on her IG account. Leave your thoughts in the comment section of this video. As always, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.
But I can say that if I had to do it again, if I was to have a choice in the decision to do it again, I would do it again. I probably would just do a lot of things differently. But I'm very happy for the silver lining, which are the friendships and the relationships that I left with. Me and we're friends as well.
Okay, good. That's so powerful.
Yeah, well, it was a lot of things that y'all didn't see. First of all, I went on 16 dates, like 16, 17
Oh
days.
my goodness.
Right. So the fact that y'all never saw me like really one-on-one being like vulnerable and very soft, like one of the things a lot of people are throwing around is like masculine and feminine energy, and I'm just like,
yeah,
we all possess both. But I possess a lot of feminine energy. Like, I'm a girl's girl. I get my nails done like every 3 weeks. I have a standing appointment.
I see your nails, girl.
Nail better bar, holler back. But no, I'm all into hair, all into makeup. Like, I when I say I love pretty things and all the things, that's me. Yeah. And when I am in a space that I feel protected, and I feel secure, and I feel like someone's giving me that space to lay it all out and be the feminine person that I am, I'm going to be that. But as soon as I start to see foolishness and see things that are just not what I want it to be, I'm gonna definitely put my guard up. It's gonna be a battle for you to get back into that space. But it was a lot of things that y'all did not see. All 16 days, I had after every deliberation, we call them bubble dates, where you have to learn the guy that he's not really shaping up and he needs to get it together because the girls have been talking about him. I went on a date, one of those days every time I went to a deliberation. And I was very connected to all these men. Like, we talked all the time. I used to talk to him every time I was doing my makeup before I went off, went off to a different scene or whatever. But what I'm saying is that it was a lot happening on camera and off camera that you guys did not see, and that's why a lot of things, in my opinion, just wasn't really making sense. It wasn't really adding up. And that's what I've been hearing as far as feedback from people that have come and messaged me why did you even turn back? Why did you even give Dante that energy? Because we don't even understand what you saw in him or what happened. But me and Dante had 2 really strong dates before the retreat house. One of the dates at this place called Medium Rare. And we and that's when he told me I want to pursue this journey with you. But at that time, I just wasn't in that space, right? So I asked for more time. I was like, listen, I need more time here. I'm really into Nye. I'm really into you for 2 completely different reasons, because they're 2 completely different type of men. But I had to understand where I wanted to go and what I saw for my future self, because I always make these really quick decisions, and I always go for the fun, but sometimes the fun doesn't, not sometimes, but most of the time the fun doesn't last. And what I knew and wanted was something that was lasting. So me and Dante always had a good time, and also we were hanging out outside of the cameras, right? So we were having a good time outside the cameras, in front of the cameras. And I feel like when I didn't give him the answer that he wanted immediately, that's when he kind of just made the switch on me. And I wasn't able, like, he didn't communicate that with me. And my whole thing was like, if you would have communicated that with me, just like I communicated my truth, which was I wasn't ready to make a decision. If you would have communicated with me, like, hey, so whatever happens, like now I'm just gonna start moving into a different direction, it would have been fine. We would have been able to we would have probably been able to be friends, because it's like, okay, you have to do what's best for you as I'm gonna do what's best for me. For instance, the date that you saw with me and Naim at the bar, by that time we had probably talked on the phone like almost every night up until that point, because we made an instant connection at the mansion, and we exchanged numbers at the mansion, and that's when we were talking. And it wasn't like I felt like us talking more during those periods outside the camera actually made for a better scene. Like we probably went over more like some of the stuff that we've already talked about, but it was like we were starting to get some more substantive conversations, right? So it wasn't just like, oh, what's your favorite color, da 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 da. It's like, okay, so we've already moved past like that surface stuff. Now we're getting to a place where we can talk. I can tell you like a little bit like some deeper things about me. Like, yeah, I like to spoil myself, and I'm really serious about my love languages and my family and things like that. Yeah. But sadly, you know, that wasn't really shown either. So it was like, I was disappointed, because what I've seen in the past is, as far as the connections, like you would see people have these conversations that were of substance, and I didn't feel like everyone got a fair shake at having that type of conversation or being shown having that conversation, and that kind of saddened me about this process. I think for me, the one, so in some scenes, right, it looks like I have this attitude and I'm like being, I don't know. I didn't feel like it was being mean, because I was just speaking to the situation. And I guess because I was being so direct to the situation that it goes off as meanness. But to me, it's just like, sometimes you have to be direct. Like, this is not what's going to happen here. But definitely off the top is the Dante situation. For me, one of the things that I've constantly worked on, because first of all, that was the first time me ever putting my finger, my digit on a dude. But
okay.
You shouldn't be touching anybody. First of all, it's a way to communicate your feelings without putting any hands on anyone. But then also, like in that moment, I could have easily just been like, okay, and just left it there, you know, right? I gave all of my power, all of my energy in that space, which wasn't even needed, because by that time at the retreat, me and Naim had already chosen each other, right? And I wanted to give Dante that information outside of the cameras before we put it on camera, because I wanted to give him that courtesy. But that courtesy wasn't extended to me, and I think, and that honestly, that's what really took me to the highest of the highest. Because it's like, this entire time I've been trying to like really be open with you and be honest with you, and I felt like that's what we were doing here. And now you have like completely shifted the gears, and now making it TV. And for me, like, this is still real life. Like, I had some genuine feelings towards you, and clearly you're telling the screen that you're tying up loose ends. I'm like, oh wow, I'm loose ends. Okay. And you know, how does that make a person feel? So for me, it was definitely like, if I run that scene back in my head over and over again, I'm like, as soon as he was like, I'm feeling Aisha, and I'm like, I could have easily been like, okay, well, me and Naim have already chosen each other. Ha ha, jokes on you. And then just like left, you know, like, hey, because that's where we're here. That's what we're ending up doing. But my feelings were hurt, and I was very much so upset that he would even just carry me like that, like just toss me off to the side as if there was nothing there. And I was like, the least you could have did was like just cared about my feelings enough to have answered the phone for the 3 days that you hadn't answered my phone calls, answer a text. Like, all this time you've been texting, you've been calling, you've been doing all these things. And now all of a sudden, no phone calls, no text. You can't answer your phone because you're busy, you know? And I just feel like people don't understand, like, just that, like, if you care for a person, just be honest and be honest quickly, you know, like, like, have a person just like sitting there being ignored as if like we never had anything this entire time. So yes, I would change that moment. I would definitely, as I exited, not even said anything about Aisha. That I don't know.
You know, after you exited the show, when he was like, look, I knew who I had this connection with. I don't want to waste anybody's time. You know, I think that this is the end of my journey. What did you think when you found that out?
Well, like I said before, at the retreat, during that that elimination bubble date that we actually had already chosen each other. So he was supposed to go home then, and I actually told them, if he goes home, I'm going home. And that's why we were able to stay on the show together. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, so I it was basically like just a flip-flop of what really happened. Now I went home, and he's just like, yeah, I'm following her. I'm out the door. We already knew that, like, our journey, this was our journey, and this was what we were going to finish with, was each other. So when I saw that, I wasn't really surprised. I actually helped him pick out the outfit that he wore there. So
okay, we get some team energy.
I wasn't surprised. Yeah, I was like, go ahead and wear that purple. That's royalty right there.